it seems that the left is certainly weaponizing government to achieve its ends. As you document in the film, it doesn't end there. Corporations and other aspects of American society have been encapsulated in this as well. What what can an individual do about it? I mean, are there things that you want them to take away from your film that they should think about in their own life, the risk that they may now face?
Yeah, the most important job of a film is to alert people that the situation is different than you think. Even on the Republican side, on the conservative side, there's a lot of complacency. People are sort of like the antelope or the wildebeest. They're grazing kind of placidly. And if I tell them, hey, guys, there's a predator in the trees, they go, oh, no, Dinesh, it's just the wind. Or, yeah, there's a predator, but he's not going to land on my back. So there's denialism. There's an effort to look away. We don't really live in the Reagan era anymore. And yet there's probably a sizable chunk of people right of center who are just kind of wishing we did. They're pining for that kind of kinder, gentler America. And as a result, they don't see that we've seen a gangsterization of our politics on the left. Now, you're right, some of it's in the government, but some of it also is in these kind of roving militias that the left is able to deploy. And these are guys who operate as if they're above the law. I mean, if you looked at those kind of Hamas-Palestine activists in the Cannon building, you look at their faces, there's not the slightest hint of fear. Hey, we're going to be rounded up. We're going to find ourselves in solitary confinement. We're going to be locked up for months awaiting trial. We'll be facing serious charges. No, they were like, we know that's never going to happen to us. We are, in that sense, above the law. And that's a good hallmark of a police state.
You tell some incredibly powerful stories and personal accounts in the film. Can you share with us how you selected those individuals who you sought out and interviewed?
I wanted to have two kinds of individuals in the film. The first is whistleblowers, informants, people who had direct and personal knowledge of how this police state started, how it developed, how it's organized, the architecture of it, who's in charge of it. And so that's the reason, for example, I teamed up with Dan Bongino. He's a former NYPD officer, a Secret Service agent. So this is really something he knows a lot about. And we have other, not just FBI whistleblowers, but whistleblowers from the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, HHS, the Health and Human Services Department, the Air Marshals. I mean, it is amazing how many areas of government are penetrated by these sort of police state tactics. The other type of person in the film is ordinary guys kind of going about their life, and they come face to face with what Orwell calls the boot stamping on the human face. And I think that's really important because I want people to realize it's not just about Trump. Yes, he is the primary target. Yes, these 90-plus charges are over the top. That's exact, classic police state thuggery. But it's not just about Trump, and it's not even just about the January 6th protesters. We have a section on January 6th, which I think casts a new light and gives new information about January 6th. But I also want to show that you've got people who are moms, who are involved in their kids' education. You've got pro-life activists. You've got traditional Catholics. You've got people just kind of doing their thing in their America, living out their American dream. And then they realize, wait, why is someone knocking on my door? Is that a battering ram? Why is that a helicopter over my lawn? And I think this can actually happen to anyone.
Yeah, I think that the one of the most powerful aspects of the film, at least in my case, was the opening scene where you depict what an individual, an ordinary American, would be experiencing should the police and FBI and others invade their house and take them into custody for something that they thought was a peaceable action. And so, from that standpoint, it really is dramatic. The story of Mark Houck, others who we've documented here at the Daily Signal, appreciate you giving them the attention that I think that other Americans need to be aware of what they've endured.
Yeah, with Mark Houck, he had some of the dash cam footage and some of the actual footage of the raid at his house. And so we got that. It's in the film. At the same time, he gave us a clinical description of what happened blow by blow. And we hired FBI consultants to recreate it. That's the opening scene. That is actually Mark Houck in the opening scene. And I wanted to do these recreations with so much authenticity that if somebody was watching from the FBI, they would be like, whoa, that's exactly how that would have gone down. So the power of a film is that we can discuss the police state. You can tell people about the police state, but without them feeling it and seeing it and experiencing it, it has a certain unreality. People are able to sort of avert their gaze. No, it's not going to happen here. We're so accustomed in America to thinking of a police state as a Stalin overcoat or a Hitler mustache that when a police state appears here in American accents and marching behind the banner of saving democracy and upholding the rule of law and fighting for truth against misinformation, it's a facade that is aimed at suckering people into believing that there isn't a naked brutality behind what's going on, but there is.